You hear that? Turn that. Yeah, that is the sound of victory on November 1st as Penn State is now unranked after maybe the biggest upset we have seen since 2007. Let's talk about it. Last Saturday, Penn State went up to the Rose Bowl to face the 0-4 UCLA Bruins without their head coach, without their coordinators, and actually without their fans. There was maybe a total of 5 UCLA fans in the Rose Bowl. It's been a couple of days since this game happened, but I might as well just talk about it now. This might be the biggest upset since 2007. Obviously, in 2007, the Michigan-Appalachian State game, when Appalachian State went up to Ann Arbor. I think it was week 1. Michigan was a top 5 team. This is actually, fun fact, the first game ever broadcasted on the Big Ten Network. And Appalachian State blocked a last-second field goal to beat the Wolverines in an absolute thriller. People consider that one of the biggest upsets maybe of all time. App State now is in the Sun Belt, I'm pretty sure. But back in 2007, Appalachian State was actually an FCS program. So now you can kind of like week 1 and an FCS team. Remember like the Northern Illinois. People talk about the Notre Dame Northern Illinois game last year. Imagine that. Actually Notre Dame was ranked 5th. Like imagine that, but it was like South Dakota State or Montana State. We would be absolutely freaking out. That's why 2007 was maybe the most craziest college football season of all time, kind of like last year. But yeah, this was one of the biggest. Obviously we had Bama Vanderbilt last year, Notre Dame, Northern Illinois. This might be the biggest one. UCLA was 0-4. They had blowout losses, 35-10 at home against New Mexico, 43-10 against Utah, 30-23 versus UNLV, and 17-14 against Northwestern. And Penn State, right after the overtime thriller, we all knew Penn State was gonna lose, but after that overtime thriller against Oregon, they go up, kind of a slow start. Horrible clock management at the end of the half that allows UCLA to get another field goal to go up 27-7 at halftime. Penn State comes back, but they don't hold on. It's not enough. They're down by a touchdown. They do like a power read up the middle of Drew Allar. So stupid. And if you see the thumbnail, Drew Allar is officially a bust. He is the biggest 5-star bust. Obviously, people are talking about Arch. I think Drew Allar's the biggest 5-star bust maybe since, was Tate Martell a 5-star? I don't remember. He was terrible. But, even in the game, he actually played well. He went 19 for 26, 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's playing well for Drew Allar. And that's like stats that are you're 20 points behind, you're clawing back, we're going to throw, we're going to be extra aggressive. Them being extra aggressive is having barely 200 yards passing. He had 200 yards flat. This is a joke. I have no idea what happened with Penn State. Jim Knowles is going to run James Franklin out of town year 1. If you think about it, maybe Jim Knowles was a spy from Ohio State, and they sent him to Penn State to get him kicked out year 1. Which I'm actually kind of upset Penn State lost this game. I wanted them to win this game. I wanted them to win last week too, because I wanted Ohio State Penn State to be number 1 versus number 2. If you watch my episode on Sunday, which you guys should all totally watch, I covered all your favorite teams on that for all our big top 10 games of the week. And I talked about how I wanted it to be number 1 versus number 2 because Ohio State has had so many opportunities to play in a number 1 versus number 2 game. I think the last time we did was it 2002? Or no, it was probably 2007 when we played LSU in the BCS. Yeah, I think that was the last time we played a number 1 versus number 2. And we almost had it. With Michigan a couple times we could have had it if Georgia lost a game. In 24, Oregon, Ohio State could have been number 1. If we would have beat Michigan last year, we would have gone to the Big Ten title. Would have been number 1 versus number 2. Texas, Ohio State could have been number 1 versus number 2. And then you could have had Penn State, Ohio State be number 1 versus number 2. And now it's looking like maybe Ohio State, Oregon in the Big Ten title. But Miami's kind of stuck in the way. But we'll see if Oregon jumps Miami again if they beat Indiana, which I think they should. That's a top 10 win. Penn State drops out of the top 25. Same with Texas with their loss to Florida. Man. And people, if you listen to James Franklin, all he has is excuse. That's all he ever does. And he'll tweet 1-0. Like, no, you're done. You're gonna go 8-4, 9-3, maybe if you beat Indiana. You're not gonna beat Ohio State on the road. And even if you do, to beat Indiana, like, no. And you still gotta go on the road at Iowa. You gotta host Nebraska. I mean, you could go 6-6 if you really wanted to. If we're gonna play like this all year. And remember, they didn't even look good in the first 3 games against the FCS and Group of 5 punt. Penn State has not looked good at all. They looked good in the fourth quarter against Oregon. That's it. The first 3 quarters, they were down 17-3. In overtime, they threw the pick. And literally, they've looked good. They've looked fine for 1 quarter of football. 1 quarter. That's it. So, I don't know what the game plan was. Tony Rojas, the linebacker, was out. So they were using Deni Dennis Sutton, the edge rusher, to spy Nico. Don't even know what that plan was. Drew Allar was the leading rusher for this game. He had 11 carries for 78 yards. You have Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen, and Drew Allar is your leading rusher against UCLA? Are you serious? Like, what are you doing? What the hell was the game plan? How do you only score 7 points in the first half? You allow that dumbass field goal at the end of the half with, oh my God, you should have punted. You're not, oh my God, James Franklin. If you're Penn State, what the hell do you do? Franklin's buyout is $55 million. Will they mutually part ways? Well, could James Franklin leave Penn State, maybe go to Arkansas, Virginia Tech? He was flirting with that USC job, so maybe he goes to UCLA. Man, I don't know. You've reached your ceiling. Last year you had 13 wins. You still had 0 good wins. But you got lucky with your playoff draw in your schedule. You had 13 wins. And remember last year, they should have went 10-2 anyway, because they should have lost to Minnesota, and they should have went 9-3 last year. Remember last year they went up to USC and it was an overtime game and they didn't get clipped. They got clipped this game. They should have lost that game. They should have lost the Minnesota game. They should have went 9-3 last year, not made. They got lucky. They didn't get lucky this year. And it's upsetting. I think the Big Ten might only get 3 teams in. I think the only hope for the Big Ten getting 4 teams in is Michigan. Michigan plays USC. If USC wins, you could say, well, what about USC? USC's unranked right now. And Michigan is top 15, so they're fringe playoff in that they have to get to, that top 11, because that 12 spot is for the group of 5. So they got to get in the top 11. If they go 10-2, they'll be 10-2 with their best one is Nebraska and USC. But I think 10-2 Big Ten team gets you in. Ohio State is law. I do think Ohio State's going to win that game. But I thought that last year. I do think it's going to be different just because of the game plan. I think the game plan last year was don't frick it up, and they effed it up. But maybe Illinois, no. I don't know. Maybe Nebraska, if they can beat Penn State. But they're not even ranked either. So the teams that might have 10-2 records are unranked, and the teams that are going to go 9-3, 8-4 are ranked. So I think the Big Ten might only get 3 teams in the playoff, which is actually what I predicted. I only had the Big Ten getting 3 teams in. I had Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon. I guess we're going to kind of swap Indiana and Penn State. But I mean, if I'm a Penn State fan, I mean, I don't know what to think. I don't know what to do. I mean, like, the Michigan loss last year, I mean, I understand kind of what they're feeling because of that, but I mean, you're out of the playoff. I mean, this is kind of like it. I mean, at least with last year, Ohio State was going to the playoff. So, I mean, if you're Penn State, I don't know what you do. You've reached your cap with James Franklin. He's never going to win you a big game. When I predicted that Oregon-Penn State game, I said everything is pointing me in Penn State, but I said I do not care. I'm throwing all of my logic out. I'm not picking Penn State. And Penn State lost in overtime by throwing an interception. I mean, like, I called it again. This is the second time I've done this with Penn State. I said they're going to throw a pick in overtime when they went to overtime. That's exactly what happened. Last year when they played Notre Dame, I'm being so dead ass with you. 10, 15 seconds. Literally, the play clock was going down before he snapped the ball and threw that interception at the end of the fourth to lose that game against Notre Dame. I said it. I said the game was tied 24-24. I said they're going to be stupid, aggressive. He's going to throw an interception. Watch. And I swear, 10 seconds later, that's exactly what happened. So yeah, Penn State hopefully wins out until they get to Ohio State, because then we will be the team that gets to knock them out of the playoff. I am a little sad because I think the James Franklin era is coming to an end, which means our guaranteed win is over. Because if Penn State had a good coach, I mean, Penn State could have won 4 out of last. I mean, I like 2017, 2018, last year maybe 23. I mean, like 2016, obviously, like 2014. You know, I know he wasn't there in 2014, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like if they had a good coach, maybe they're able to do this, but they're not, because it's Penn State. We are ass. Thank you so much for watching the Hot Seat of College Football Show in today's segment. I will see you guys all tomorrow. I don't really know what video idea I want to do. Leave a comment down below if you want to see something specific. I think we're going to do our preview for the Ohio State-Illinois game and then maybe do a second video that day. It all depends if I have time. But y'all, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button, turn on notifications to get a notification every single time I release a video. And thank you. We'll see you all tomorrow.